Chapter 8, Section 6 is all about factoring polynomials that now have a coefficient in front of your original x squared. That's the A section, okay? If you remember, when we write these polynomials, these quadratic polynomials, it's ax to the second power plus bx plus c. And so we so far have been factoring polynomials that don't have an a value, or their a value is just 1. Now this is going to be bigger than 1. Okay, so we are used to being able to just put an x in each binomial when we factor this, but now that's not going to work because that won't give us our a value. So these are the 5 steps that are going to help you, and it's going to seem like a lot at first, but as you keep practicing it, it'll be easier and easier. Okay, so we're going to go through the steps on this one. The first thing that you need to do is take your a value and your c value and multiply them together. So if you have 6x squared plus 23x plus 7, here's our a, here's our b, and here's our c. Okay, so we're going to take that 6 times 7, which gives us 42. Okay, yesterday, or in section 8.5, we were able to just find a number that would multiply to be the last number but add to be the middle number. Now we're looking for something that multiplies to be this 42 and still adds to be the middle number. So it has to multiply to be 42 but add to be 23. So if we list out our factors of 42, we have 1 and 42. 2 and 21, which I can see already, will add to be 23. So we know that we're going to need a positive 2 and a positive 21. Okay, now this step 3 that says rewrite, we're actually going to expand the original trinomial so that I have 2 x values in the middle, and these are our 2. So it will say 6x squared plus 2x plus 21x plus 7. Okay, all I did was expand this 23 in the middle with my 2 and 21. Okay, now I'm able to split that into 2 binomials and complete step 4, where I factor out the GCF of each binomial. So the greatest common factor of 6x squared plus 2x, something I can divide them both by, that can come out of both. I can take a 2, and because 1x, they each have at least 1x, I can also take out an x. When I do that, that leaves me with 3 x's and 1. Okay, now remember, you can always double check that by distributing. Okay, 2x times 3x would give me this 6x squared, and 2x times 1 gives me this 2x, so I know I did the right thing. Okay, this second binomial, I can take out a 7 out of each one of them, and that leaves me with 3x, because 7 times 3x gives me this 21x, plus 1. 7 times 1 gives me this 7. And one good thing that I can see, and that I need to check every time, is that these two should be the same. Okay, now our final answer has to still be 2 binomials multiplied together, like always when we factor. And where I'm going to get those is we're going to use the 3x plus 1 that I have in each right here. And then I'm going to take these on the outside and put those together to make the other one. So 2x plus 7 is my other one. And that's my final factored form. Now, if you wanted to check your work, you would have to use FOIL, okay, which is a great idea, especially at first when you're learning what to do. So if I multiply the first, that gives me the 6x squared. Outside gives me 21x. Inside gives me 2x. And last gives me 7. And if I combine these like terms, I end up with 6x squared plus 23x plus 7, which is exactly what we started with. So we know that we did this right. Okay, I know that that's a lot of work. We're going to try another one right here following those steps. So I'm going to label these as A, B, and C. I'm going to start by multiplying the A value with the C value. So 6 times 5, which tells me that I have to find something that multiplies to be 30 but adds to be 13. Okay, if I list my factors of 30, I have 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. Okay, and now I'm looking for one that would add to be 13, which would have to be this 3 and this 10. Okay, I just like to list them so I know what I'm going to use when I rewrite it in expanded form. So 6x squared plus 3x plus 10x plus 5. Okay, I'm going to put it into the two groups so that I can pull out my greatest common factor. The greatest common factor of 6x squared plus 3x is 3x. When I take that out, it's like I'm dividing, so I need a 2x plus 1 on the inside. 10x plus 5, the greatest common factor is a positive 5, which would leave me with 2x plus 1 on the inside. Okay, so then I rewrite it all together in factored form, and I will have 3x plus 5 times 2x plus 1 as my final answer. Okay, what happens if when you multiply a times c you get a negative number? Nothing different than what we did in 8-5. We just have to then be able to find numbers that multiply to be negative but add to be positive, or vice versa. So we'll do this one together and then I'll let you try a couple on your own. Still the same steps, however. So we're going to start by multiplying a times c, which is 3 times negative 15. And that gives you a negative 45. Okay, so for part 2, I need to find a number that multiplies to be negative 45, but adds to be 4. Okay, well, if I list my factors of 45, I have 1 times 45, 3 times 15, 5 times 9, which I think is what I can make equal 4 somehow. Okay, so how am I going to have these multiply to be a negative 45 but add to be 4? Well, if I have a positive 9 and I add a negative 5, that's going to give me a positive 4. And if I multiply a positive times negative, I'm going to get that negative that I need. So those are what I'm going to use to rewrite this. 3x squared plus 9x minus 5x minus 15. Okay, then I need to split these up so that I can factor out their greatest common factor. 3x squared plus 9x, greatest common factor is 3x, which leaves me with a 1x, sorry, plus 3. And then negative 5x minus 15, I can take out a negative 5, which leaves me with x plus 3. Therefore, my final answer is going to be the 3x minus 5 that got factored out of each, and then x plus 3. All right, this one is a good place for you to pause and just try it. See if you can do all 5 of those steps on your own. Come back and see if you have the same answer as me at the end. All right, if you're back already, I'm just writing out the steps here. If I rewrite it, we have 10x squared plus 35x minus 4x minus 14. Okay, then I can factor out 5x, which leaves me with 2x plus 7. Take out a negative 2, which leaves me with 2x plus 7. Final answer, 5x minus 2 times 2x plus 7. All right, we're going to wrap it up with some word problems. The area of a rectangle is 2x squared minus 13x minus 7. What are the possible dimensions? Use factoring. Okay, remember that a rectangle is just the length times the width. So I'm really just looking for what 2 things do I need to multiply to get this number. So all I'm doing, if we don't pay attention to any of these words other than this one that says factoring, is that I'm factoring these to find out what I'm multiplying. Okay, so 2x to the second power minus 13x minus 7. My a times c is negative 14. So I need something that's going to multiply to be a negative 14, but add to be a negative 13, which happens to be negative 14 times positive 1. So when I rewrite, I have 2x squared minus 14x plus 1x minus 7. Factor out the greatest common factor. Pull out 2x, which leaves me with x minus 7. And because 1x and negative 7 have nothing in common, I can only pull out a 1, which leaves me with x minus 7. So my final answer is 2x plus 1 and x minus 7. All right, last one. Try this one on your own. See if you can factor 8x squared plus 22x plus 15. Come back and check your answer with me. All right, your final answer for this one should have been 4x plus 5 times 2x plus 3. And that's the end of part 1 of 8-6. The full assignment is on page 508, 8 through 27, 34, 36, and the lesson quiz. Do what you can, and then we'll finish up in part